Hi, faded right into that. You see that? It was great. Weather Extra. Wah, cha, 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 cha. All right, what we got going on? A lot of you asking questions for this weekend saying, is it going to rain on my parade or my softball game or my soccer game or my picnic or my fishing? I can tell you this. So far this morning, ultimately, I know you're going to see some showers there on the radar, right? This has really been kind of a swing and a miss so far. And what I mean by that is, yes, there's been some rainfall. Don't get me wrong. But the forecast models last night literally had rain dumping on the entire Tennessee Valley by 9 o'clock in the morning. And it's 8:30, and there's not that much rain out there. There's some showers, though. So what I'm going to do is I'm still going to stay to what I was thinking last night, and I feel pretty good that I backed off on the rain in the morning, is that as we progress through the day today, the chance for rain will go up for everybody. I don't think it's a complete washout, though. But there'll be rain at times. What's weird about today, too, is see how the rain is moving? It's moving the wrong way. It's going southeast to northwest, if you know your map directions. So normally, like if you're in Huntsville, you would look towards like Athens, Decatur, maybe even up towards Tennessee from where your weather's coming from for rain. But because of the situation and scenario that we have with a big low pressure that's along the coast, the airflow around it's counterclockwise, right? So what happens is it turns the rain back up into our area, so the rain will be coming from a different location. So like if you're in Huntsville, you're going to look down like 72 into Gurley to see where your rain's coming from today. And that's the direction the rain will take most of the day. And right now, not much rain out to the west. There's been some showers in and around Gunnersville, Albertville this morning. Main locations that have actually had the most rain so far has been like DeKalb and Jackson County. That was a swing and a miss on my part because I figured most of the rain would stay south of the river in the morning. But that one little batch, that little cluster of rain, let me pull it up so you can see it a little better. Up towards like I-59 and up towards Hollywood and areas like Long Island and Bryant. That's where the core of the rain is right now. Then you got that little shower activity in your Hartsville. That's not much to write home about. So, yeah. So overall, there's some showers. Yes, check, got it. But mainly just cloudy. If you happen to be on air with us this morning, I don't know. Like, it was like really weird. It's almost like Mother Nature painted the sky purple at one point. And there was some amazing looks this morning before the clouds won out. And if you haven't had a chance to see some of the images from this morning, I posted a few on my Facebook page in a post. And everybody was like, did that really happen this morning? I'm like, yeah, it really did. So it was cool. Dazed and confused purple haze. Somebody got my joke this morning on air. I thought that was pretty funny. Hi, Molly from Henniger. Hi, Dio from PC. Good to see you. Vacation Valerie is on. Good to see you. David Adams, hardest working meteorologist in North Alabama. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, my friend, for saying that nice comment. I don't know about the hardest working or maybe just the most gullible. I just take all the shifts. I'm not really sure, but it's what you got to do, you know, like when somebody goes on vacation, you got to fill in, and that's the way it works, and that's okay, and everybody does that for me too, so it's all good. It works both ways, I promise, but thank you, David. Very kind, my friend. Vacation Valley. I see a comment. Oh, come on, thing. Kana, rain in the morning in Langston at South Saudi Campground. I talked about Langston on air this morning. I did. I even talked about how beautiful a drive it is there on Alabama 67, and all those people like to pull their cars over and go a little fishing on that water right there. I know where that is. Yep, a little bit of light rain for you. That's pivoting north of you now in Langston, so you're going to catch some dry time here shortly if you haven't already, so that should be up and out for a while. There was a gentleman that talked to Eric Burke. Eric sent me a text from the Pandas game last night. He said, I have a gentleman from Stevenson. He wants to know if his softball game is going to be okay to play this morning. I'm telling you right now, Stevenson, there's some rain right now, but once that lifts north, it is game on dry for a while. There's another batch of rain coming down the road, but that's not coming till later. So, yeah, overall, not really that bad this morning. Thought it was going to be a lot more rainy. I'll tell you that. Well, no, I didn't. I kept it out of the forecast. I need to trust myself. Once in a while, I never trust myself. Good morning, Jeff Desnoyers and all. It's 60 and it's cool outside. Rain for May 25 has been 4.18 inches. You're going to add to that, Stan. Thank you for the update. And Stan, thank you for the update. That is also a great way to describe how the first half of May has been. We're almost halfway through the month, right? By the time we get to that halfway point, it has been a very cool and rainy month of May. And when I show you the 10-day forecast in just a little bit, wait till you see the changes coming next week when this little storm gets out of here. This low pressure is going to be part of our forecast for today, tomorrow, and Monday, and Tuesday. And it's not that it's going to rain every second of the day, but it's going to keep it cloudy and cool and breezy. But boy, once that low pressure hightails it out of Tennessee Valley, temperatures are game on next week. We have a chance to hit 90 for the first time in Huntsville this year. I think the Shoals already hit 90 at one point. But hi, Tegan. Hey, Jeff. I live about a mile from Albertville Airport. Did we have an earthquake? We heard no loud boom or any noise, but our whole house shook and our furniture was shaking and everything. I don't think there was an earthquake this morning, Tegan, but I'll look into it and I'll come back and comment for you. I didn't get any reports of anything like that, but I will look into it and I'll let you know for sure. All I gotta do, you go to the earthquake page, USGS. You know what, Tegan? You have perked my interest. I'm gonna go to the USGS just to see. Bear with me. Keep looking at the radar, everybody. It's up for you to look at. Remember, the rainfall is going the wrong way. Let me see here. I'm going to go check it out, okay? Greenback, Tennessee. Let's see here. I don't know where that is. I got to figure this out. I'm looking it up. To see what we got going on. That was UTC 5. Let me see here. So something does come back. But I don't think it's really near here. Where is that? Help me out. Oh, that's way out here. So I will say this, Tegan. This is where I'll go with. The USGS reports an earthquake, pretty decent magnitude too, in Greenback, Tennessee. And that was at 5:10. That was at this morning. So Greenback, Tennessee is northeast of Chattanooga. And I mean, I guess you might have been able to feel it down where you live, but that's awful long way. But the radius around it doesn't say it makes it to Alabama, but there was an earthquake in Tennessee. Pretty decent sized one, too, at 4.1. But I would think that the ramifications of the tremors around it would probably not make it all the way to you. But it could. I mean, Albertville is pretty far away from the center of that. But there you go. So I looked it up. You ask, I find out the information. All right, I'll catch up to comments in a moment. I'm kind of slacking here. I left the radar up while I looked that information up. Hi, Amy. I see you on. I live in Calhoun, Georgia, and my house shook, Tammy said. Yes, and that would make sense because Calhoun, Georgia is much closer to the epicenter of where that would be. Just for reference, it's between Chattanooga and Knoxville. So that would totally make sense. 4.1, that's a shake, rattle, and roll right there. That's not just a little wimpy one. 4.1 is 4.1. I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's not going to happen. How do I hide that? There we go. Boom. Gonna have to block this one. That's what we have to do. All right, takes care of that. That person won't make any more comments. All right, Leslie, Shoals has Cottage Core Festival today. Any chance the rain won't come? No, there's going to be rain. You're good for now, though. I will say this, Leslie, if the Shoals is going to get rain, it's probably going to be a little bit later in the day, maybe a few showers here this morning, but you can see on the radar, there's not much going on right now except for northeast Alabama. And I also said areas in Middle Tennessee would have to wait a bit for the rain today, but that cluster is going to clip you soon. So, yeah, once this little batch moves through, there's a little bit more behind it. So there's going to be there's not going to be, if you're in the Shoals, you're going to have some time when it's not raining today. There's going to be probably several hours where it doesn't rain. Oh no, why was this comment hidden? No, I want to see that. Unhide that. What is Facebook doing? It's blocking some of the weird things and letting other people talk. Oh my gosh, I'm way behind on comments. So Vacation Valley says, this is when Tennessee earlier. Oh, why does this thing keep resetting on me? This is so annoying today. Tegan says, we felt it about 45 minutes ago. Yeah, Greenback had an earthquake 4.1, but I think it was like 3 hours ago though. I took the web page off. So 4.1 in Tennessee. I commented on earthquake questions. Someone in Cleveland, Tennessee. Thank you. Yep, that's fine. Yep. Yep. And Tammy, you felt it in Georgia because you're closer to it, and you talked about. I didn't see anybody from Cleveland, Tennessee on here, so I don't know what that means. So I'm kind of lost on the comments right now. I didn't see anybody from Cleveland, Tennessee, so I don't know what that even means. But I'm glad you felt it, though. It's great. Good morning. Nina, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to you. I see that on there. Sandy, sand with an E. I like that. Sandy was a 4.1 earthquake, which is what I was just talking about. Tegan, I see that. Oh, wow, an earthquake. Yes, Lindsay, there was an earthquake in East Tennessee for 4.1 magnitude. I'm going to talk about the rain real quick, real fast, and then I'm going to keep on going. Valerie says it was about 10 seconds long. Thanks for the updates in Langston. You're very welcome. Tammy says, thank you for the update. Good morning, Jordan. I see you on. Christina Stillwell, good morning. And I think I caught up to everybody. We will be there either way. Fingers, toes, still crossed. Jen says she's still going to the shoals, and that's good. Don't let the forecast deter you. All right, off the radar. I'm done. I was looking up USGS information. I'm trying to figure out any ramifications, if there was any damage. That doesn't look like there was. But I don't live in East Tennessee, so I'm not completely sure. But I'm sure we'll have somebody look into it. Find out. There's your rain. See the heavier rain to the south? That's going to be south of Birmingham through much of the morning, and that's what starts to fill in here this afternoon. And the little showers that we have now are literally just preceding the main steadier rainfall. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s, and it's kind of cool out there, mixing a breeze of 20 miles an hour, and it'll feel kind of cool throughout much of the day. Temperatures in Minnesota today will be in the 80s and probably near 90 Sunday. We're going to be in the 60s and low 70s here. It doesn't happen very often, but places near Canada will be warmer than us this weekend. Hour by hour forecast. I know we have a few showers out there now, but the heavier bands or core of steadier rainfall to the south will pivot to the north. Notice that even though it's raining in northeast Alabama right now, this next round by about 1 o'clock kind of swings southwest of you and spares your area. That's why I said if you're in Stevenson and you have that softball tournament at 11 o'clock this morning, you're probably pretty good for a while. But that rainfall could be heavy at times for areas west of I-65. It loses steam by the evening, lifts off to the north, and besides a few little isolated showers, rumble of thunder tonight that you see here, all this will be out of here so early on Mother's Day that much of the day is just cloudy. If you have plans for Mother's Day, it is actually just looks like a cloudy and cool day. And then the next surge of rain will come in Sunday night. There it is, boom. And that rain comes in, is with us for Monday and Tuesday. Does not look like severe weather threat at all. It just looks like a lot of rain, but there'll be some chances for rumbles of thunder. And then I talked about once the rain moves out, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, temperatures soar all the way up into the 80s to near 90 degrees. In fact, by next Friday, that could be our first 90-degree day in Huntsville. And yeah, pretty warm stuff. And then, of course, the following weekend on Saturday and Sunday, there's some showers and thunderstorms. So, but I'll find out more information about this USGS 4.1 earthquake. I'm gonna check it out right now. I don't think we felt it here in much of Alabama, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We had a 4.3 one time when I was forecasting up in Rhode Island, and I think it was Dartmouth, Mass. It was like right on the coast. 4.3 magnitude earthquake. Pipes busted and everything. It was crazy. Oh, they give it in UTC time. Great. I have to do the math. So 8:04. 10, 5:10, 08. Yeah, I mean, could be like about an hour ago. I'm looking things up. I'm trying to figure it out for y'all. I'm looking right now. 21 miles southeast of Greenback, Tennessee. That's actually kind of a ways away. So I don't know if you can see my little map, but on my phone, can you see that? Nothing comes up bad, I promise. See Knoxville? See the circle right there? See that blue area around it? That's technically where like the ground shakes a bit outside of the epicenter. So that's, and I'm just doing it on an interactive map on my phone. It's actually almost in North Carolina, actually. So if you live in Tennessee, East Tennessee, Georgia, probably got some of the tremors, a little shake, rattle, and roll this morning. Not nearly as cool as the purple sky that we had here, but certainly could cause some damage, though. 4.1 is pretty decent. That's not like your little tiny little, shake the house for a second. 4.1 is decent. Let me see here. Where did I leave off? Joseph, he says, Jeff, Shirley, hope we don't have any rain because we have a wedding today. Yeah, I have no idea, Shirley, where your wedding is, but the forecast is very location specific. So I hope you don't have rain either, and I hope it turns out to be a fantastic day for the wedding. And they say rain is good luck on a wedding day, though? I don't know. Vacation. Denise, what's up? Good morning, Saturday, Jeff. Blessings to you. Good morning to you, too, Denise. Good to see you on, as always. Shirley says, we are in Green Hill. There you go. Yeah, I think you're going to have some showers today in Green Hill. It's going to be tough to avoid the rain, but not an all-day rain event, though. But there'll be some showers at times, for sure. Langston, Alabama. Cecil from Langston, Alabama. Look at all the people from beautiful Langston. I love Langston. You know how many times I go to Langston? I go to Langston all the time. I know that area very well. Jennifer, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday look great. They do. They look very good. Some people are going to probably get upset because it's a little too warm or hot real fast. Because keep in mind, the month of May has been so chilly and rainy. Then all of a sudden, like, bam, we go like 90. And they're going to be like, wow, we went from like winter to summer like that. But Shirley says, it was felt here. Shirley in Green Hill. Yeah, I would say that some areas might have a little bit of a feeling to it. It's kind of far away, though, but I didn't feel it here in Huntsville. But some areas probably northeast Alabama, maybe down to Albertville, maybe like areas like in Fayetteville, too. I think that, I had a tornado in Illinois once, too, if I remember correctly. And it was pretty far away. Like, it was only like a 3.5, I think. And it was down by like St. Louis. And I was in Peoria, Illinois, and I could feel it in Peoria. And that was pretty far away. So it's definitely not a local thing in terms of like, you have to be right at the epicenter of it. You could feel it from miles and miles away. So, I mean, like if you are in South Alabama and you tell me you felt it, that might be a bit much. But in our area, yeah, I think you could have. 4.1? Pretty good. Wonder if there's any damage. I have to look that up. Stan says, cooking breakfast. Good for you, my friend. You enjoy. Okay, Jenny. Thank you to Lord Jesus. Thank you. Yep. On Saturday. Very good. Donna, you're so sweet. I appreciate that. Very nice comment. Johnny Wynn, what are you doing? Thank you for all you do. J-Man from Mentone. I know who Johnny Wynn is. J-Man, what's going on? I'm going to put this up full again so you don't have to see me. There's no reason to really see me leaning back. So there's your 10-day. I'm going to go back to the radar, everybody, so you can see where the rain is. For those of you just coming in now, I just saw a big surge of eyeballs come in, so let me go back. There's your rain. It's moving around. It's actually, what's funny is that one cluster in northeast Alabama that kind of, if that didn't play out, this would have been like almost a dry morning. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, that one cluster, that's even fizzling out too as it lifts to the north. It's having a hard time moving north. The line of rain was much more impressive about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then it just fizzled out. That's all it keeps doing. But there are some showers out there. So if it rains, obviously. And it's very, very close to many locations right now. Vacation Valley, Johnny Wynn. Brianna, how bad is the rain supposed to be today? It's my son's birthday. It's just going to rain. I don't know like the levels of bad. I would say, like showers and rainfall. There could be some pockets of heavier rainfall in the afternoon, and there'll be periods of rain throughout much of the day. I don't think it's a complete washout, and I don't know your location. That makes a big difference, Brianna. Like if you're in Huntsville, it's not the same forecast as Florence, and it's not the same forecast as Fayetteville, and certainly not the same forecast as Albertville or Guntersville or Fort Payne or Hartselle. So like areas mainly along the Tennessee-Alabama state line, except for that one little batch of rain that you're seeing go through right now, many areas like closer to the state line will have very little rain until later today. So it all comes down to really where you're at. Location, 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 much like real estate. Very important. Hi, Word Posey, good morning to you. Brianna says New Market. Well, that would be closer to the Tennessee-Alabama state line. So once that little batch of showers that you see headed your way right there moves north, there's going to be a long break in the action before your next round comes. But there'll still be some showers in the forecast as we go into the afternoon for you. You're not quite out of the woods, but there'll be a long break. There'll be a long pause where you have a lot of cloud cover and you're just kind of cool and chilly. Katie Smith, good morning everybody from Florence. Just made Tiny's favorite breakfast, bacon and cheese eggs. How does Tiny the cat get bacon and eggs? And I sit here at the station hungry right now. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to bring it. I know where you are. It's a far drive if you try to. Brianna says, okay, thank you. You're welcome. I try to answer you all back as much as I can. If I miss a question or if I miss a comment that you're asking me a question about, like Tegan brought up the earthquake, and look what we did. We went, I looked it up. I find out there's an earthquake in, what was it, Greenback, Tennessee? I don't even know where that is. 4.1, and we're talking about, and then everybody said they felt it. And certainly Tammy in Georgia did. She was telling somebody in Cleveland, Tennessee on the live hit here that I don't know who that was, but that's fantastic. And that's what we do here. We got each other's back. We're just telling everybody the stories. Making sure we pass along information. Bill Beck, how many inches in the shoals? I don't think we're measuring in inches with this one. At least not now. For today and tomorrow, quarter of an inch, maybe a half an inch in the shoals. But Monday and Tuesday would be the time frame where you could maybe get that 1 to 2 inch rainfall. But it's going to be spread out, my friend, over like 2 days. So you should be okay on Monday and Tuesday. This is not like a flash flooding event or anything like that. It's a prolonged period of showers each and every day, which is a bummer for outdoor plans, but probably not that kind of impact. And I know you're extra sensitive with what happened a couple months ago, and I understand, and I get it. But I think you're okay. I think overall, this is just more soaking rain, making everything green and making everything soggy again, pretty much. Before we dry out and warm up next week, which is going to be impressive warmth. Brittany says, ROTC has been bonding today starting at 11. Will they have clear time at the creek, or will they get... I don't know what creek you're at, Brittany, and I just need you to be more specific because there's a lot of creeks and the weather forecast is not the same for every location. So I can give you an idea if you have more times of dry hours or if you have more times of wet conditions. If you tell me the creek they're going to be on, I don't know where that creek is. Somerville, Skylar, a little shower activity right there on your doorstep, my friend, with a question mark. I'm assuming you're asking about the rain, Skylar? Somerville, question mark. And so you see that little shower, it's right near you. You look to Decatur, you're in Somerville to the east. That little shower is going to lift north and west. Not much behind it right away, so you're going to have some long stretch of, I will say, 3-4 hours of no rain, and then there'll be another batch of showers that lifts north, and that will probably clip you about 1-2 o'clock, and then you'll get a big break from that, and there'll be probably a spotty shower tonight before more rain comes in Sunday night. So that covers Somerville. Brittany says, we are in Hazel Green. Hazel Green, another area that's closer to the Tennessee-Alabama state line, which is good. So you see that little batch of rain near New Market in High Top? That's going to brush you in Hazel Green, and then it's going to lift north and pivot over you, and there ain't nothing really behind it for a couple hours. So you're going to have a stretch where it doesn't rain. It's much like Somerville, actually. This one little band's lifting through. And so what happens is you wait until probably 1 or 2 before the next round gets here. That will lift north, and then there'll be a little break in the action again. So if you can time the ROTC in between the waves of rainfall, you should be okay. And when it's not raining, it's going to be cloudy and cool and breezy too. That may make a difference. Did you say you're kayaking? What is it? team bonding on a creek. Well, if it's creaking, if you're at a creek, does that require like, are you on paddle boats or something? I don't know what you're doing to bond. I hope it's fun for sure. But if you're bonding like with like, I don't know, canoeing or kayaking, watch out for the breeze too. Wind gust about 15, 20 miles an hour out of the east. You're welcome, Bill Beck, anytime. Skylar, I answered Somerville already with a question mark. Bill Beck, talking to everybody. Derek, Stevenson, Alabama for today. We're kicking off our second day of the Jackson County Recreation Softball Tournament. I think, Derek, I literally might have been just talking about you, and you didn't know it, and I didn't know it either. So, Derek, did you happen to talk to Eric Burke about the softball tournament in Stevenson? And I ask you this because Eric Burke is so funny. He's at the Pandas game last night. He goes, I got this message from somebody in Stevenson. What's it look like on the forecast for tomorrow for Stevenson? Are they going to be able to get their softball games in? So scheduled to start at 9 and run through 6. So let me pull this up, okay? I just want to show you something real quick. Focus on Stevenson. Hey, by the way, you had some decent hail the other night, didn't you, Derek, in Stevenson? I know that area very well. So in Stevenson, you see how that rain's pivoting north of you right now? And you said first pitch at 9 o'clock, right? So if you start right at 9, the first couple of games should be A-okay. But you said the games go all the way through 6. I can't promise that for your afternoon because see that next batch of rain there coming in on the bottom screen by the 48 thing there? Yeah, there's another one. So the 9 o'clock games may be able to get in, but there's more rain coming in for you like around noon. And then once that lifts north, there's a break again. So there might be times when your softball tournament gets paused because of some rain. But if you can ride it out, there'll be times when the rain moves away and maybe you can get the field up and running again to play the next game after that or something. I hope that helps, Derek. It's a tricky one trying to time out all the rain, obviously. But if you give me a specific location, I can tell you what I think might be the best option for y'all today. I wouldn't say give up completely, but pack a lot of patience for the tournament because there's going to be times when it might be just raining too hard to play. But right now, you got a little window right here. Get them out on the field right now. Start at 8:53. Go, go, go. No, I'm just kidding. Skylar says, yes, we have water slides for the kids today. Ooh. I don't think it's flooded out. It's not that kind of rain. Like, it's not going to rain to the point where, like, we have to, like, build an ark and, it's not like that. We're good. But there could be some rainfall. And if you put up the water slides, I mean, if they have water on them already and you just add a little bit more water, doesn't that just make water slides more fun? But I don't know. But no lightning with this. I don't think there's much lightning, so that's a good concern for water slides. So Skylar, so that's a good thing. If there's no lightning, that's safe. But I can't say it's going to be great. I would be more concerned if I was on a water slide today of the temperature being like 63 degrees, cloudy and breezy with gusts to 20, because that would be like goosebumps all over my body. And I don't know if I'd want to go on a water slide when it's in the 60s and cool and feeling like a fall day. But overall, though, I think you're okay if you don't mind a little rain at times. Brittany says, they're swimming. Yeah, I don't know about swimming today, everybody. I think we need to take the swimming and water sports kind of thing out of the equation, maybe. But bonding with swimming today might feel more like a polar plunge. That's bonding. Definitely. Polar plunges are definitely bonding for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. In all seriousness, Brittany, swimming and lightning don't go together, right? Bad. Stay out of the pool, stay out of swimming. But there's not a lot of lightning today. There's just rain today. So I think if they don't mind swimming in the rainfall and bonding with rain, and they're okay, they might want to hug each other to stay warm for a while because it's going to be kind of chilly. 64, rainy, a little breezy. But in all seriousness, if there's no lightning, I mean, they can swim in the rain. It's just not going to be an ideal day. Certainly not going to be jumping in that water to cool off. Mother Nature will take care of that for you in the environment. I have a roundabout way of answering some of these questions, but I get there eventually. Katie says, I hope your dad and your pups are well. I saw an ad on TV earlier for a product called Hush Pup. They're ear covers for dogs, available in all different sizes, supposed to help with the noise anxiety. Katie Smith, that is so sweet of you to think about my two puppies and how they don't like thunderstorms, especially Rubble. That is very kind of you. Yeah, I have to say, Rubble has taken great strides. we have some medicine that the vet gave us to give him, but I will look into that. I think that's fantastic. Trying to get something on him, though, like Sky, I could dress her up in anything, and she would wear anything I put on her. Rubble, though, I don't know. I put earmuffs on him, he'd just be like, probably shake them off. She would wear them, and she'd be like, do I look good? She's a diva. But he's not so much. Katie says, are you seeing a lot of hummingbirds? I have a couple showing up along with the rose finches, which are so cute. I have had some hummingbirds. I've had 4 sightings. I had one way back in like early April. I told you about that. But they love my salvia. And if I go out to the garden, I'm working out there weeding or something, and I get one every once in a while, it comes close. And they're like, that hummingbird's like right next to me. It's crazy how close it is. It's kind of cool, actually. And if you ever actually got to hear a hummingbird like up close, there's a reason why they're called hummingbirds. It sounds like hummingbirds. It's kind of cool, actually. I just said that. Fade. All right, I'm going to go through the forecast one last time. A couple new eyeballs just came in. Here's what we're tracking right now. It's just rain, everybody. There's no storms. This is not a severe weather event. This is just me telling you what the forecast is. Not stirring the pot, anything like that. Just some showers. Mainly Jackson County, northeast Madison County, which is like the New Market area, swinging up into Winchester here shortly. Fayetteville, I said you're going to have to wait most of the day for some rain. I lied. There's some rain going to clip you here this morning. But once that moves out, you're good to go for a while. There's another shower near Somerville, and that was Skylar who was just on. There's actually a light shower near Huntsville now, moving into southeastern Huntsville, a little light rain there. Down towards Coleman and Hartselle, some showers. If I'm not talking about areas west, I'm not ignoring you. You just don't have any rainfall right now. There's more rain to the south, though. Look at that big surge of rain down south of Birmingham. Now, it looks like it has a V line for our area, right? A lot of that's going to get squashed to the south and west. Remember, it's pivoting around an area of low pressure that's way off down towards the coast. So it's going to kind of swing and then sort of miss northeast Alabama and much of the area, we'll say Huntsville east. It's going to swing and mainly affect areas more like west of I-65. So if you are west of I-65, this is kind of cloudy now, that would be your thug of rain. And again, as Bill Beck mentioned, how many inches, it's not like that. It's just going to be some steady, solid rainfall. Maybe a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch with this for today, and then you add maybe a little bit more Sunday night, and then Monday and Tuesday has a chance for more of that 1 to 1.5 inch kind of rain event. Remember, the forecast is not a complete washout for the weekend, but Monday and Tuesday looks pretty soggy, and Monday and Tuesday look pretty wet most of the days. So, good day to stay in touch and watch. Are you going to watch Mystic Pizza again? You know how much I love Mystic Pizza. You all know I lived in Mystic, Connecticut before I moved here, right? Mystic is so beautiful, they made a movie out of it. Can't beat that. All right, I'll go through the temperatures real quick for you. They're not going to move much today, around 60 degrees, kind of cool. Here's your hour-by-hour forecast. The one thing that this model does not depict is this light shower activity moving through Jackson County right now. But you get the gist of where the steadier rain is to the south. See how it pivots north and goes mainly southwest of us? Just kind of brushes the area. The more north and east you are, less chance of a rain with this particular cluster of rain. It doesn't really get an up until almost late afternoon, and that's when it starts getting into northwest Alabama. And then once that swings and pivots to the west, there'll still be a few little spotty showers tonight. If we're going to have some thunder, it would happen tonight. Nothing severe, just enhancing some of the rain. And that rain shower activity should wind down pretty early Sunday morning. And then, poof, all we have is cloud cover for Mother's Day. Very cool temperatures, though. And then another surge of rain comes in Sunday night. There it is. And once the faucet gets turned back on Sunday night, the faucet will stay on for Monday and Tuesday. And the rainfall totals will be probably, when this is all said and done, about 1.5 inches of rainfall for the area, give or take, or who has a little bit more in the way of heavier rain. I don't think it's going to be jaw-dropping rain totals. And then the big talk after the rain by ending on Tuesday will be all about the temperatures for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that's when we go 80s to near 90 degrees. And that's when we could be looking at the potential of our first 90-degree day in Huntsville. I think the Shoals, the Northwest Alabama airport, had 90 at one point. I don't think Decatur did. I'd have to look back. I didn't look yet. And then I know Huntsville hasn't. And Huntsville's had an 89 twice, I think, or 89 and 88. But I don't think we hit 90 yet. So we have a chance at the end of next week. So I'm going to do a little more digging on this USG. I'm trying to see if there's, I don't see anything coming back of like any kind of damage with that earthquake, just so you all know. I'm actually looking it up right now. So this particular graphic, so it said, I gave you a town. What was the town I gave you? So the USGS says it was in Greenback, or 21 kilometers southeast of Greenback, Tennessee. And then I do another search, and it says it was 15 miles near Maryville, Tennessee. I think it's the same location. It's just they're referencing it differently. So this is just south of Pigeon Forge, south of Knoxville. I don't even know how to say that. North and west of the Nantahala National Forest. I don't know how to say that. So this is northeast of Chattanooga. This one particular web page, this is where telephone gets bad. So now, like the earlier reports were saying, Knoxville, East Tennessee, shaken by 3.5 magnitude earthquake, 3.5, but then it says 4.1. Tennessee, earthquake rattles North Georgia, metro Atlanta. Atlanta, Knoxville, rattled as earthquake shakes the southeast. It doesn't look like they made it, it doesn't look like the ramifications made it all the way to Alabama. But if you felt something, you felt it. I can't tell you if you didn't feel it. I've had some nights where I felt like an earthquake and it wasn't an earthquake. You know what I'm saying? I'm like tipsy. But yeah, I think that for the most part though, earthquakes can happen. We had an earthquake here in the Fort Payne area. I think it was like a month ago. I made a graphic on it. I talked about it on air. So obviously it had to be within like a month or two because I forget things after that. So, but yeah. All right. I think I've answered most of the questions. I caught up to comments. I don't see any new ones, which means Jeff can bolt out of here, which is fantastic since I worked last night. Enjoy the day. Eric Burke will be here tonight. He'll have the very latest. He's tracking the rainfall on the radar for you. Any storms that pop, he's here. He's got you covered. I will be back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., and I'll be on air for a couple hours. I'm going to go home, take a break, and I'll be back for Sunday night. And at that point, I'll be tracking probably more rainfall, and that's how we're going to start the work week next week. But nice little break in the action comes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before more rain comes in the following week. May, long-term forecast models. We already have had a significant amount of rain in May. We're going to add to that rain. And then if that next rain next weekend comes to fruition and plays out and the forecast is right, we're going to add even more rain. And the May totals start to climb and get up there. And start thinking about maybe referencing like where are we at like all-time rainfall Mays in the history, right? I mean, some of that rainfall starts to get pretty epic when it starts happening every single day or more days than not, you're getting some kind of rain. Now, some of you missed out on the rain Thursday and Friday. There was some pretty nasty storms Thursday night, and Eric came in on Friday, and everyone was like, I didn't get one storm. And he's like, well, good. You didn't have large hail and damaging winds and heavy rain, which is a good thing, but it missed much of the metro areas. It hit like areas mainly north and east. Like there was some big-time hail in Stevenson area. There was some large hail up in Winchester. We have viewers there, so we have to talk about them, stuff like that. So, all right, Vacation Valley, have a good day. I see you on. Everybody have a good day. I'm done babbling. Eric will be on tonight, and y'all have a good Saturday. And happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I know Mother's Day is tomorrow, but make it an all weekend celebration instead of just on Sunday, right? Bye, everybody.